Hey ladies, it's Jen. It's really late and I should probably be heading to bed soon, but I wanted to post a video tonight anyway because there's something that has been on my mind all day long, and a lot longer than that actually, but I've been hesitating to put a video up about this because I just know that there's going to be some inevitable backlash from some of the people that are going to watch this video. I feel like it's important for me to talk about this issue because I know that it's something that I've heard a couple of ladies on Facebook or in YouTube videos mention previously that has been said to them. And I just want to go on the record and state my opinion about this whole thing. But before I go any further, I feel like it's important for me to share a certain piece of information that I would normally keep private about my life that I think is important to share in this situation because it helps to put the video into context. So some of you ladies may know that I'm in college full-time and I'm earning a bachelor's degree in English, but what you may not know is that when I'm done earning my bachelor's degree, I plan to go on to seminary to become an ordained minister. So, now that that is out in the open, the reason why I have hesitated in the past to share that information with you is because the last thing in the world that I want is for any of you ladies on YouTube or Facebook or anyone else to start to view me as a religious nut or someone that you can't be yourself around, that you can't swear around, that you can't, just be honest with. And I don't want you to start thinking that I am going to judge you or that I'm going to start trying to convert you or tell you that my religion is the true religion or any of that other nonsense. That's not going to happen. That's not what I'm about. I'm an open-minded person. I'm a very fun person, and I like to think that I am rather liberal. That being said, regardless of whether I am liberal or extremely conservative, I feel like it is my viewpoint on this issue would remain the same no matter what. And that is it God's will for infertility to happen to certain women? And are we messing with God's will by pursuing infertility treatment options such as IVF, IUI, Clomid even? Or the reason why I decided that I wanted to do a video on this topic is because a lot has been said to me recently at church and even outside of church by some people that might be seemingly well-meaning. Very recently, I had someone come up to me at church, a few people actually, on different occasions, who would come up and say, "Have you considered that it might be God's will that you're not getting pregnant? Have you considered there might be a reason why you're not getting pregnant even though you're trying? Maybe God just doesn't want you to be a mother." It hits me like a ton of bricks every time someone says that, and I kind of just want to punch someone in the face. The first thing that comes to my mind is, how dare you think that you know what God's will is for my life? Yes, everything happens for a reason, and I believe that this infertility is happening for a reason, but I don't believe that reason is that I'm not meant to be a mother. That if God places a desire in your heart to be a mother, or that you really want a baby, and that is the strong desire in your heart, that desire is there for a reason, and I believe it was placed there by God because you are meant to be a mother. I don't believe that God is sitting up in heaven and laughing and saying, "I struck her with the curse of infertility and she's never going to get pregnant, ha ha ha, and I want this to happen and I want her to suffer because she's bad or evil in some way." I don't believe that. And there are out there Christians who believe that if you are infertile, it is for a damn good reason, and that God in his infinite wisdom knows that you would make a terrible mother or that you would do something wrong, and so he doesn't want you to be a mom, and that's why you can't get pregnant easily. And to that I have to say, have you actually thought about this issue and used your brain? Because if you think about it, I believe that God does have the power to strike somebody infertile, but will he exercise that power? No. Clearly he doesn't. Because think about all of the 13-year-olds and 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds that are getting pregnant every day and bringing babies into this world and can't provide for them and can't feed them and don't want them and think about all the babies that are brought into homes where they are abused, and not think about all of the women like ourselves who really, really want a child and would raise that child in a loving way, and some of us would even bring it up in a Christian household or in any other, whatever our religious faith is, that child would have a good upbringing. But we are not getting pregnant. Is this person who comes up to me at church seriously going to sit there and tell me that it is God's will for that 13 or 14-year-old to get pregnant, but it's not God's will for me to get pregnant? I mean, how can you have one without the other? God is okay with 13-year-olds getting pregnant? And I just don't believe that. I don't believe that it's okay with God for these children to be brought into the world, into homes where they're not going to be loved and cared for, and not allow women who would care for that child to get pregnant too. So, I mean, their theory doesn't even make any sense. And this whole thing started with these people at my church because I recently, I guess, opened up and spoke out about the fact that my husband and I are struggling with infertility. About a month or two ago, I did a sermon about Hannah in the Bible, and some of you may know that Hannah was also struggling with infertility. You might have read a book called Hannah's Hope that was all about Hannah and her struggle with infertility and how she prayed that God would give her a child and that she would dedicate the life of that child to God if he would only but bless her with this one child. Some of the background of this story is that Hannah was struggling with this infertility, and back in the time when the story was written, her husband had a couple of other wives who were taunting her because they were able to get pregnant and they were fertile and she wasn't, and she would grieve all the time over the fact that she couldn't give her husband a son or a daughter. And her husband started to get angry with her or feel hurt because he felt that she wanted a child more than she wanted her relationship with her husband. And for any of you that are wondering, she did eventually get pregnant and have the son that she had longed for. And if any of you were wondering how that story ends and didn't know already, but when I spoke out about the infertility struggle, that's when all the stupid advice started coming in, like maybe you're not meant to be a mom, or maybe it's just not in his plan for you to have a child at all and you just need to focus your attention elsewhere. And then I would get, the old church ladies giving me their, my cousin's sister's sister-in-law, Millie, was trying to get pregnant and couldn't for a really long time, and then she went on vacation to Hawaii with her husband and they got pregnant right away because they were relaxed. Well, that's good for Millie, but it hasn't happened for us. And I don't want to step on anybody's toes. Maybe it's part of your religious beliefs that everything is orchestrated by God, and yes, that if you're not getting pregnant, there's a reason. But I don't believe that is the truth. And I am sorry for any of you ladies who have been told by Christians or otherwise that there is a purpose for why you are infertile, or that there are certain people who have also made comments to me that pursuing different fertility treatments, I guess, somehow committing a sacrilege to my faith, and I have no business being a pastor. Well, to that I have to say, God gave us all brains, and we're supposed to use them. And God gave doctors a brain so that they could come up with treatments and medicines that will help deal with any illness. And I believe that infertility is another one of those illnesses, and that by all means, if there is a way for that illness to be treated, God wants us to use our brains and to pursue those options. Whether that is that you need to have in vitro fertilization or an IUI, or you need to take Clomid, or you need to get donor sperm, or whatever it is, I believe that God wants you to become a mother. If that is a desire that is placed in your heart, there is a reason that desire is there, and you are supposed to go after that desire and fulfill it with every option that you can and with everything that is in you, and not to give up hope. Those are my feelings on the topic. And to anybody else who's watching this video and is thinking about posting a negative comment, I just want to say, if you don't have anything nice to say, then don't say anything at all. Because myself included, and every other woman who's struggling with infertility along with me, we hear enough stupid comments from people on a daily basis about why we're not becoming parents yet. And we're already struggling enough without adding more to it and being told that this is a religious matter and that there is a spiritual reason why we're not getting pregnant, it's just ridiculous. So if you're thinking about saying something like that, it's fine if you believe that, but you don't need to voice that opinion, at least not on this video. And that's all I wanted to say. And to everyone else who is going through this frustration like I am, my prayers and my thoughts are going out to you, and I just hope that we can continue to support one another in this journey. And I know that we are all going to come out on the other side of this as parents somehow and some way and someday.